This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kindle customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Around the manager, I think there are some strands you can move off to say that's a hint towards that manager, that's a hint towards that manager. But where are we at with the Manchester United managerial situation at the moment? Because we're not really getting any headlines on it. From speaking to a few people and in my opinion, IMO, this is about a division within the football club right now. I think Fabrizio said on a tweet recently that decision time soon. That's the decision time soon. Could be tomorrow, it could be in 3 weeks time, of course. We can't put a time on soon, but what we can put a stamp on is that there is indecision at Manchester United. When is there? Never indecision. And it really is obviously it's what it's always been. It's been Pochettino or Ten Hag. There's indecision within the club. Certain players want Poch, certain board members want Poch, and certain people like Ralph Rangnick have advised to go with Erik Ten Hag. So there are going to be, unfortunately, we're united only in the name, because as we know at Manchester United and as we fear at Manchester United, there's quite a few egos at that club who think they know best. But I agree with what Paul Ince said this morning. It's something I've said as well. Under no circumstances would any player, when he was playing, be consulted on who the next manager should be. So we really shouldn't be listening to any United player. We really should be listening to the guy that we brought in as an interim to assess the club and then to be a consultant for the next 2 years. His opinion should be bigger than anybody's. I mean, realistically, is that not logical? Mark, the second N in Nunez is pronounced like the GN in lasagna. Nunez? Oh, I don't know how you do that, John. Don't confuse me with that. But in my opinion, where do I think we are at the moment? And look, I speak to a lot of people about this, and there's some real confidence around Erik Ten Hag. And at times, I have been confident about Erik Ten Hag being our next manager. But this club, to me, has been so disappointing for so long. When I think about who I think I'll be our manager, when I think about that press conference holding up the shirt, my heart wants it to be Erik Ten Hag, but my head just has a picture of Pochettino in his suit going like that. And I just think that's going to be the future of Manchester United. And if I'm wrong, I'm dancing in the street. Not naked, but I'm dancing in the street and I'm saying well done to the club. But I just have this horrible, sick feeling inside that it's going to be Pochettino. And people everyone's entitled to opinions, of course they are, and I've got no problem with that, but I'm not going to be not true to myself. I've got so many Spurs fans attacking me on Twitter all the time saying, oh, it's another Poch hate tweet. I hate the idea of Poch being our manager, yeah. Don't know what it's got to do with the Spurs coach, Spurs fan. I don't really get it. If you want him so much, sack Conte and bring him back. You'd be bloody idiots to do that. I ain't even talking about my club. I'm talking about Spurs fans who take a pop at me because I'm constantly going on about not wanting Poch. He ain't the manager of your club, lads. Or ladies. He might be ladies, I don't know. It's a Twitter account. But the reality is, I will speak about your club. You'd be bloody idiots to let Conte go for Poch. So don't talk to me about my club appointing a manager that you're not going to have to worry about. So I'm consistent. I don't want Pochettino. I wanted him back in November. Yes, I did. But if you're just an absolute clown if you're going on about that. I can't. Don't come on the chat and talk about crap. Like, we have a community that actually watches the shows every day. And I've explained this 5 or 6 times now. Basically, November is not now. We're in March. Things change. What was available in November was basically a paltry choice of him and Rodgers. What's available now is anything you bloody well want. If Erik Ten Hag had been available in November, I would have gone with him. But he wasn't. So it's as simple as that. But Yeah, I just have this horrible feeling that this club will do what it always does and make a bad decision. And I at this moment in time, I'm dreading the prospect of Pochettino. So I think that John says just say Nunez. Okay, Nunez. Okay, Darwin Nunez. Well, I'm going to talk about him in a minute. But the reality is that I feel that where we're heading as a football club is to this crossroads or T-junction or whatever you want to go. And you can go one way or you can go the other. And I don't think we'll ever have this opportunity again to be able to change direction and try something completely new with Erik ten Hag or Enrique, to be honest, but it feels like he's been ruled out, or go down the stale route of Pochettino, which for me is more Premier League obsession, more fighting for fourth, more money for the Glazers, and just a very sickening route. And I suppose in many ways I do feel sympathy towards Pochettino. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad coach. He just symbolises everything that's wrong with the football club. And I don't think anybody's ever said this. It's not. What makes me laugh is that it's not even their fault, is it? Let's be honest here. You put a tweet out and the idiots come out and they'll go, "Oh, you're just going on about Poch all the time." And I'm like, yeah, because I am, because he's the symbol of the problem, but he's not the problem. Pochettino symbolises everything that's wrong with Manchester United. As an individual, appointing him as manager symbolises everything that's wrong with the club. It's not even his fault, but he does. He is the man that Ed Woodward wanted. Ed Woodward was a crap CEO for a decade. So Pochettino's linked to Ed Woodward. Pochettino will love people like Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay and Fred and Bruno and every other player that's let us down this season. So Pochettino's linked to the failure of this year. Not his fault, but he will be, because there will be the players who want. He's also a manager that has worked previously under dictatorship ownership that doesn't want to spend money on the club. He did that at Spurs under Daniel Levy. He did really well on a shoestring budget. Well, he's going to do it well at Manchester United, isn't he? Because he ain't going to get much money there. So he's a symbol of what the Glazers want. He's also a manager that can't beat the top sides, but can get you into top four. Oh, the Glazers will love that as well. Everything I see about Pochettino just makes me look at the last 9 years and go, yeah, more of the same. That, and maybe I'm completely wrong. Leans me towards what we've been doing for the last 10 years. Focused on fourth, no chance of being in a title race, crappy signings, and just a cycle of failure. And look, even these links to Harry Kane, I just think, well, that's Poch. Harry Kane is Pochettino, isn't it? Harry Kane is 100 million down the drain instead of spending it on actually building a team for the future. A 29-year-old striker for £100 million coming into our club when we need to buy midfielders, wingers, centre-backs, and we're going for a £100 million striker again that will sell a load of shirts. And why is Harry Kane thinking about leaving Spurs to come to Man United? They're in a much better position than we are, really, long term. So I just feel that my Poch fear is summarised in that, to me, and maybe it is not to you, I'm sure it probably isn't, but to me, my, I suppose, obsession with not wanting Pochettino is that he symbolises everything that is wrong with Manchester United, whether it's players, coaches, recruitment, board, owners. He's almost there in the picture with them like that, in my opinion, because I think everything about Pochettino fits in with what United have been about over the last 9 years. Focused on overspending on British talent, focused on fourth, focused on not being one of the best teams in the world, focused on, effectively being a business. And I think Pochettino falls into that perfectly. Erik ten Hag, I think, offers something very different. And that's why I want that. But as I said, if Luis Enrique wasn't managing Spain in December and was a viable option, I'd be off you go, Poch. It's between Ten Hag and Enrique, but we're not going to get that, are we? What are the UK betting odds on manager today, says Rajan? The betting odds are actually, we'll get the Manchester United manager betting odds. I'll give you them live here. I don't necessarily take a lot of pay a lot of attention to it, but let's just have a quick look here. So Erik ten Hag is odds on at the moment, and Pochettino is 3-1. Brendan Rodgers is the third favourite at 16-1. So the odds are still with Erik ten Hag, and I must add in there that, look, there's a lot of people that are still very, very focused around Erik ten Hag being the manager, and You know what? I'll just say this. Like, all this negativity and concern and fear that I have could turn to complete elation the minute they appoint Erik ten Hag. And I'll be there going, yes, absolutely yes. I'll be going, get in. I'll love it. I'll absolutely love it. But don't criticise me or anybody else who has the same stance as me that have this sick feeling that we will go down the Pochettino route, because ultimately that's what you can only go off the evidence, and that's what we've had for 9 years. So my fear is that they will do that. I'm hoping they're not. And you know what? I'll give you this as a glimpse as well. I don't know about you. Who do you think? Laura, let's just run a live poll. Not who. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.